And would you spell your last name for us, please, Amy?
S-P-I-N-E-L-L-A.
Okay, have a seat and please speak loudly. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Amy.
Afternoon.
Okay, now, I have met you, and I know that you're a soft-spoken person, and just what we've heard a little bit so far confirms that we are in a really large environment, and 14 jurors in this box really do need to hear you. Those of us at the table need to hear you. The microphones are here to record, not necessarily always to amplify, though that one long skinny one there can amplify. So if you need to be heard, please, you can slide that one over, move the water pot around so that we can hear you. But either way, it is imperative that at all times you keep your voice up, okay?
Okay.
All right. Are you currently employed?
Yes.
And how are you employed?
I work at Wellbridge in Romeo.
Doing what?
I'm a server.
Is that a restaurant?
It's a group home with also physical therapy on the one side and
Well, I mean, a server struck me as a restaurant, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
Really a big difference.
what's that?
He's thinking it's a restaurant, so was that, I think, everyone else when he started, and it's totally different. Go ahead.
Now, what high school did you graduate from?
Armada High School.
Did you live in Armada when you were younger then?
Yes, I
Okay.
did.
Who is Gail Spinella?
That's my mom.
What city does she still live in?
She lives in Armada, Michigan.
In the summer of 2014, were you living in the village of Armada?
Yes, I was living there.
Living with her?
Yes.
Okay. And what street was that on? Just the street, not the address.
East Main.
Is there a reason why you were staying with your mom at the time of July of 2014?
I was getting ready to have surgery.
And you were staying there then with your mom?
Right, waiting to have it at the time.
Was your mom working at the time?
No.
Did you go for a bike ride on July 24th of 2014?
Yes, I did.
Did you go with anybody?
Yes, me and my mom went for a bike ride after she had gotten home from work that day.
So, there we go, that's what I was getting to.
Yep, okay.
She was working?
Yes,
You're
yes,
about
she was.
5. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm going to hand you a picture of People's Proposed Exhibit number 114. I have shown it to Mr. Sheik. Do you recognize what's in that photograph?
Yes, it's the bicycles that I rode that day.
All right.
One of them.
Both you and your mom?
Yes.
All right. At this time, Your Honor, I would move to the introduction of People's Exhibit number 114.
No objection.
If you could step on down for a few minutes, Amy, grab the pointer. We're going to put the photograph up. Compared to the bikes that we've been hearing testimony about, those recreational bikes, okay, they're not racing bikes, right?
No, it's just something we go out to enjoy and have fun on them, and we get outside and enjoy it.
I'm going to put up People's Exhibit number 33 now, which is the overall picture of Armada. Could you sort of show us on this picture is your mom's house in this area? If not, give an idea where it would be.
Yes, it is in the area.
All right, would you go ahead and point it out? All right, so it's essentially on Madison Street or North Main Street, way up there, okay. Approximately what time did you leave the house to go on the bike ride?
5:15.
What path, I guess, did you stop somewhere first after you got on the bikes?
We stopped at the Marathon to get air in the tires for my mom.
Where is that Marathon, and is that Marathon station on that aerial?
Yes,
Would you point it out?
would be right here.
Okay. So it would be safe to say you came down East Main Street to the Marathon station?
Yes.
After you finished putting air in your tires at the Marathon station, where did you head next?
We went down Church Street to where we got to the Depot Street, where we could get onto the path for the Orchard Hill Trail.
And what direction did you head on the path?
We went east.
And that would be then toward Omo Road?
Correct.
Remember to keep your voice up.
Yes.
Do you recall how you were dressed that day?
Shorts, short sleeve shirt, had a ball cap on because it was very sunny, sunglasses, tennis shoes. It was very warm.
As you were headed up the trail, or headed east on the trail towards Omo, did you see a young lady walking a dog?
Yes.
Approximately where on that path did you see the young lady walking the dog?
It would have been in here.
Now, do you know where Liberty Street is?
Yes.
And do you know what's been called the Liberty Trail?
Yes.
Do you see those on that map or on that photograph?
Yes.
All right, so that's Liberty Street and Liberty Trail. And have you ever been on that Liberty Trail to the Macomb Orchard Trail?
Yes.
When you see the young lady, can you describe, I guess, what she's wearing?
I really don't remember what she was wearing. I remember she was walking a dog, and she was looking down at her cell phone.
Now we've had, I guess, are you riding at an exercise pace or are you riding at a leisurely pace?
A leisurely pace.
What order are you and your mother in?
My mom was ahead of me, and then it was me.
Well, how far behind your mom are you?
Probably about 4 bikes length.
Do you have any contact with the young lady?
No, I don't.
Does your mother have any contact with the young lady?
Yes.
Do you see the young lady react to your mom's contact?
I just heard them saying hello to each other.
So your mom said hi and the young lady said hi back?
Correct.
Okay. Now, would you be able to recognize or describe the dog if you saw the dog?
Yes.
I'm going to put up People's Exhibit number 4 and ask for you to take a look at that. Do you recognize what we have up there now?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the dog.
That's the dog. Now, when you see the dog, is the dog on a leash?
Yes. She was walking in.
Okay. And is the dog in front of, behind, to the side? Where's the dog in relation to the young lady?
Just in front of her. You know, the chain length away. You know, a regular pace. Regular length.
Keep your voice up.
Okay.
When you pass by her, approximately how far away from her are you as you go past?
As I pass her, not far at all. A bike length.
All right. So 5, 6, 7 feet.
Right.
We're becoming accustomed to the term 6 to 8 feet. Would that be?
6, 8. Oh, I probably definitely, yeah.
Okay.
Louder.
Now, if I were to show you a picture of April, you become aware of April and April Millsap. Would you be able to identify April?
I didn't see her that day on the trail. Her head was down, and I rode past her.
You didn't see her, you didn't see the face of the
I
young
didn't
lady
see her face.
walking that
Correct.
dog. Okay.
Correct.
Do you see something, I guess, then, unusual on the trail after you've passed her?
Yes. Me and my mom had rode down to Omo Road, and had...
Okay, before that, let me ask the question this way. If you would put 33 back up. How, I guess, in that summer, how often had you ridden the Macomb Orchard Trail?
It's probably been my 4th time out on the trail.
Had you ridden that trail the year before that or the year before that?
Sure.
Had you ever seen a motorcycle on that trail?
Never.
Did you see a motorcycle on that trail that day?
Yes.
Did you see that motorcycle when you were heading to Omo Road or on the way back from Omo Road?
On my way to Omo Road.
All right. Approximately where are you when you see the motorcycle? If you would point it out on that map there.
Okay. I have to stay in here.
Okay, so what would be the distance if you could put, would you put, just so we don't have to get into numbers, I'm going to ask you to put the pointer on the trail where you saw the young lady walking the dog. Okay, and I'm going to keep my pen there. Would you then point out with that where you saw the motorcycle? Okay, so at that point right there on the trail. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you know approximately what time it was that you saw them?
I did not have my cell phone on me or a watch.
Did you have an app tracker of anything that that gave specific times or information about this
No,
ride?
I didn't.
No. And you didn't have a phone with you?
No, I did not have a cell phone.
When you see the motorcycle, I guess what is it that causes you to become aware of the motorcycle?
Well, my first thought was that, I'm out here trying to exercise and, it's for exercise. It's not for a motorized vehicle. It's for people to enjoy the outdoors and exercise.
When you first see the bike, where is it?
It is heading towards Omo Road.
All right, so it's going in the same direction that you are?
Correct.
Is it in front of you or behind you?
It was behind me.
Right. I guess, do you then hear it coming up? What is it?
Yes.
Okay. So you don't see it at first. You hear a motor behind you. Now, is it a really loud motor?
No, not at all. I would have to describe it as kind of like a moped motor, the sound of it.
No. So it wasn't like the Harleys that we hear that go flying down Main Street or anything
No.
like that? What does that motorcycle do as it passes you?
It kind of weaves in and out of my mom in order to try to get ahead of us far enough in order to come back, to turn around.
Now, are you on the right or left-hand side of the trail?
I'm on the right-hand side.
Where's your mom?
In the middle, probably.
All right.
Yeah, in the middle.
And so if
Yeah.
you are...
So he was leaving.
All right, so that's what I'm saying. So if your mom is here,
Right.
ahead of you, and you're sort of back here, what is that? Describe exactly what that motorcycle does.
He goes in between us.
So if I'm the motorcycle, it's coming in between you like this, then around your mother like that.
Correct.
Right there on the trail.
Yes. Right
Does
there.
the person on the bike say anything to you as they're passing you?
No.
Did you hear a horn beep? Did you get any notice whatsoever that this bike was going to pull that little maneuver?
No.
Does the person on the motorcycle say anything to you?
No.
Do you say anything to the person on the motorcycle as it's passing you?
No.
How far in front of your mother does it get before the bike turns around? And I'm sorry, that may be assuming facts and evidence. When the motorcycle passes your mom, what does it do?
Probably as soon as it had a chance, you know, it was 2 bike lengths, you know, to turn around. It was as soon as he possibly could, you know.
All right. So the
He
bike,
thought it was proper, so, you know, he thought he had enough room, so he turned around.
so if it was like on a highway, we'd say it pulled a U-ey.
Right, yeah,
The bike was then facing you.
correct.
Were you able to see the person that was riding the bike?
No,
Did you see what type of, whether the person was wearing a helmet or not?
yes, he had a black helmet on with a shield, a clear shield that came over top of it.
When, I guess, do you stop at that point? Do you and your mother continue in the same easterly direction?
Yes, we just continue.
Did you say anything to him as you passed him?
No,
Was there any acknowledgement by him of either you or your mother as you passed him after he had done the U-ey?
it seemed like to me that he had raised his hand to say hello. I don't know if he was stretching his hand or that was on the bike.
Do you know if he was wearing gloves or not?
No, I do not.
Could you describe the type of clothing that individual was wearing?
No,
Could you give a height or weight of the individual on that bike?
no.
Could you tell an age of the individual on that bike?
I guessed, and it was 14 to 15.
Okay, so you thought of somebody young.
Yes.
And approximately what time is this, if you can tell me?
5:40.
Okay, so you're saying earlier you left at, you're saying 5:10, 5:15, and now you're saying this is around 5:40?
Right,
Okay.
right.
Did you see any interaction between the motorcycle and the young lady that you described walking the dog?
No.
And now you and your mother going in an easterly direction, the young lady and the dog are walking in an easterly direction, the motorcycle was going in an easterly direction, flipped around and turned back facing west.
Yes.
What do you and your mom do at that point?
We just continue to go down the trail to finish our exercise. We passed over Omo Road. Shortly after there's like a bridge, and then we decided that we were going to turn around and come back.
And did you do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we did. And we turned around and came back.
Now let's talk about your trip back. Are you, I guess, going at the same speed on your route back?
Sure, yeah.
Now you're headed west, and what, I guess, what positions are you and your mom in?
My mom was ahead of me, and I was behind her.
Did she sit down?
Okay.
Did she sit down?
In just a minute, I'll have her sit down. We're going to, just so that you can sit down in just a second, we're going to talk about an incident where you look into the bushes and see something. Would you sort of just point out right now where that is on that map, and then you can sit down? Okay, so right by the Liberty Trail there?
Yes, there's
Okay.
a trail. Yes.
Okay, all right, good. You can have a seat.
Sure.
And that way you put the microphone by you, and I think what we would like is just so that there would be more volume on your
Okay.
presentation. When you're on your way back from Omo Road prior to getting to Liberty, do you see anybody else on the trail?
No.
And you and your mom are still riding your mom in front of you and you're behind your mom?
Yes.
Does there come a point in time where something catches your attention?
Yes, I rode up on a motorcycle that was parked on the left side of the trail facing Omo Road.
Can you tell whether or not this was the same bike that you had seen earlier in this trip?
I just assumed it was the same one because
Do you
of
know
seeing
anything?
it so earlier.
Okay. So, do you know much about bikes at all, or motorcycles? I mean.
No.
Do you know the difference between, say, a Harley or a dirt bike?
Yes.
Okay. Was this more of the Harley range or more of the dirt bike range?
Dirt bike.
You wouldn't be able to give us a make, model, or anything like that?
No.
What about colors? Would you be able to tell us anything at all about colors?
Black was the only thing that I remember seeing.
Now, as you're heading west, and what we're going to talk about that you saw in the trees was on your right-hand side, which we've learned to be the north side. You have to say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay. Is the bike then on that same side, or is it on the, what we would call the south side?
It was on the south side.
You indicated it was facing Omo Road. Can you tell the jury where it was? Was it on, like, on the path, on the shoulder? How was it parked, I guess?
Right. It was parked on the cement, just facing Omo Road, which just seemed awkward.
Now, if this is, let's just use this as an example of the path itself.
Okay.
This is the cement portion of the path. Can you give us an idea of how far onto the path it was?
It was on the shoulder.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it was not in the middle of the path, it wasn't obstructing anything?
No.
You had indicated that you, on an individual that you had seen previously or minutes before, had a black helmet. Did you see a helmet on that bike?
Yes, I seen a helmet on the handlebars, resting.
Did that helmet look similar to the helmet that you had seen earlier?
It was black also.
Is this bike now parked before you see what you're about to describe, or was it after?
Before.
And can you give the jury an idea of what distance before? Let's do it this way.
Okay.
We're going to pretend you are where the scene that you're going to describe in just a second, that back wall is about 42, 44 feet away. Using that as a distance, a third of the way, half of the way, all the way, how much before that spot was that bike?
Half of the way.
So approximately 25 feet or so the bike was before what you saw that you saw.
Right.
Are you thinking anything at this time when you see the bike?
My guard went up. I was cautious that somebody was going to jump out at me. Why I thought that, I do not know. I just kind of even slowed down because I was just, I was honestly thought somebody was going to jump out, or I wanted to know where they were at, you know. What were they doing, you know?
Now, did you say anything to your mother?
No, she was ahead of me.
Did it seem to you whether or not she slowed down? Could you tell?
No, she didn't slow down.
But you slowed down.
Yes.
What, I guess, is the next thing that you see after you slow down?
Actually, I heard something.
What is it that you heard?
I heard, you know, like stepping on the bushes on the side. And when I looked over there, it appeared to be the dog with his paws.
So you did see the dog in the foliage off to the right-hand side?
Yes.
Was there something else that you saw?
Yes. Then I made eye contact with the person that was out there.
When you say eye contact, would you be more specific about the type of eye contact that you had?
His eyes were very, very piercing, very, like he had done something wrong,
Right.
you know.
When we talk about where you're seeing this, I'm going to show you going to show you People's Exhibit number 41. Ask again if you would step down, but please keep your voice up. Does this look like the area that you looked into?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I need you to breathe deep and relax. If you need a moment, please let me know. If you need a Kleenex or some water, we have all of that available.
Okay.
Would you sort of put the pointer on where you saw the dog first?
I would have seen the dog here.
All right. And now you indicate that you saw a person behind that?
He was over here,
Okay. Now,
facing the dog.
facing the dog?
Facing the dog.
And you indicate now, we see the edge of the path here. We see the shoulder. We see the path here. We know that path is approximately 8 to 10 feet wide. Where are you on that path in terms of the width as you're going in that direction?
You know, right and not very far off of it, just riding along here.
So you're on the north edge of it, a foot or two onto the path itself.
Right.
And you're traveling
Riding
it
by.
Okay.
Yep, on my bike.
on your bike. And what do you see first, the dog or the person?
I heard the dog.
Heard the dog.
I heard the rustling of the branches, which caused me to look over that way. And then after I seen it was the dog rear end that I seen, then my eyes went to the person that was standing there also.
When you say standing, can you tell whether that person was male or female?
It was a white female, a white male.
Do you know about how tall?
No.
You know, older, younger?
At the time, I just assumed that it was somebody younger, goofing off, and you know.
But now, you indicated that you made eye contact?
Yeah.
Would you describe to the jury exactly what you mean about making eye contact?
We interlocked eyes. He looked, you know, I looked at him and he looked at me. I mean,
What did you see him do when he locked eyes with you?
he was just standing there,
Where were his hands?
down in front of him.
So if you, I'm going to take the pointer.
Sure.
If you would get into the position so the jurors could see the position that you saw this person in.
Would have been like this.
Keep your voice up. I would indicate for the record she's standing facing the jury with her hands waist level, about a foot, foot and a half apart. What is your thought as you see him as you ride by?
A young kid just out there doing something he shouldn't have been doing. I didn't know if he was going to the bathroom or if he was, you know, honestly, you know, yeah, you know, I didn't know.
You were able to see the dog's rear end. You were able to see his eyes and his hands. Were you able to see his legs and his feet?
No.
Were you able to see if there was something on the ground in front of him?
No.
You can have a seat again. Once you observe that, what do you do?
I just continued to ride my bike. I had then met up with my mom that had been waiting.
Did you say anything to your mom immediately upon seeing it?
I didn't have to. She said something to me.
Okay, what did she say to you?
She wanted to turn around and go back.
What did you say to her?
I said, absolutely not. We're going home. And I said it very sternly.
Did you go home?
Yes.
When was it that you came to know that there had been a murder on the Macomb Orchard Trail that day?
It would have been 12:50 in the afternoon.
That would have been on Friday?
Mm-hmm.
You have to say yes or no.
Yes.
And And that would have been July 25th.
July 25th.
How did you learn?
My dad had called me from my grandmother's house to let me know that somebody was murdered out on the trail. He left a message, and actually I laughed. I was like, you're kidding me, right? You know, so I called him back, and he told me that there was a murder out on the trail, and really I could not believe it. So my first question was there a black dog there? And he said yes.
Joanna? Joanna, please, please. Right? You learned there was a dog on the trail also?
Yes, I did.
What did you do after you learned this information?
I went in the garage in my house and got on the bike, and I rode to the trail and found a police officer.
What did you tell the officer at the time?
That I needed to notify somebody that I had seen something. I wasn't sure exactly at the time what I had seen, but that I know that I had seen something.
Did you then go to the police department? Did they take you to the police department to interview you?
No, he just wrote up something there at the granary where I was.
Were you later contacted by the police?
Yes.
How long after, if you learned approximately 12:30 on Friday the 25th of what had happened, it was immediately after that you rode your bike down to the granary? Yes.
Yes. It was at 12:50 in the afternoon when I had rode my bike back down there.
You rode your bike back home?
Afterwards, yes. Yep, after I had talked to the officer, yes, I rode my bike back home.
How long after that were you then contacted by an investigator or a detective from the task force?
The exact time, I don't know.
Was it that same day? Was it later?
Yes, it was the same day. Oh yeah, it was the same day.
Did you give, I guess, the information you testified to here to the officers that came to interview you?
Yes, I did.
Did they ask you to then do something more than just simply make a statement to them?
Yeah, it was a written report that we had sat down. There was 2 officers, and I was with the one, and he asked me questions about what had happened.
The way that the officers, we can see, were doing the reports, there were questions written out, and then you would give an answer, your answer would be written out, and then you would initial to be certain that that was the answer that you had given.
Yes.
Now, once that was done, were you asked to do something even more than just give a statement?
Yeah, we went one day, they had picked us up in a cop car, and we had driven out on the trail itself.
And what did you do then when you were out on the trail with the officers?
You know, just looking for the location of where I thought it had happened, and basically the location.
When you were out on the path, was there any insignia, were there any signs that indicated where the body had been found?
No.
They simply took you out there and asked you to tell them when it was close to where you thought you saw what you saw?
Right, where the location of the motorcycle and where the incident had happened, where I had looked into the woods.
When you were doing that, did they say, yes, you're right, no, you're wrong? Did they give you any detail like that?
No.
Once you were done then with showing the area, did you also do something else at the request of the investigative team?
I had given a sketch
And when was that?
a few days after.
Okay.
The exact day, I don't know.
Let's sort of put some things in context here.
Okay.
We know that you were on the path on the 24th. You indicated that you spoke to the police then on the 25th. They came out on the 25th to interview you. Were you also on that same day then taken on the path that you just indicated by the police car?
No, it was a few days later.
All right. Now, the composite that you put together, you were asked to work with a sketch artist?
Yes.
And where was that?
That was at Armada Middle School.
Do you know now what day that would have been? We know that you were on the trail on Thursday. You notified the police on Friday. Do you know then what date the composite was?
I would guess Saturday.
So fairly quickly in time to
Right.
when you had given a statement.
Correct.
Right? I'm going to hand you people's proposed exhibit 115 and ask if you can recognize what is on that sheet of paper that I handed you.
The eyes.
No, before we get there, we'll get to that in a second.
Okay. What do I recognize?
Do you recognize that drawing?
Yes, I recognize the drawing.
How do you recognize that drawing?
It was the drawing that we came up with the sketch artist.
And that's the composite as a result of your interaction with that sketch artist?
Yes.
At this time, Your Honor, people would move for the introduction of people's proposed exhibit number 115.
No objection, Your Honor.
It's admitted.
If you would come on down again, and we're going to put it up on the screen. What is it about this composite that draws, I guess, the strongest memory for you?
The sandy blonde hair, and then the eyes.
Why the eyes?
They were just really bulging and piercing when we made eye contact.
As you were passing by and making eye contact, what was was that the main feature that you were looking at?
Yes, definitely.
But you do have the hair is curly.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. Did you describe the helmet to, as you can see, it was done by a gentleman, a trooper named Sarah Krebs. Did you tell her about the helmet that you saw?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And did you tell her then about the shape of face that you saw?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and you also then described to her the lips and the nose?
Generally, but I mostly had seen just the eyes and the hair.
When you stand back there, I want you to stand right here and stare right at that in high def.
Okay.
The way that the eyes are drawn on that composite, are those the eyes as you remember them?
Yes.
Is that a pretty darn good likeness of the eyes as you remember them?
Yes.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you put those eyes at?
A 9.
Now, I see the hair, and for the record, would you describe how you described the hair to Ms. Krebs and what we see here on the composite?
It was just like it was a perm in it, and it was curly on top.
So you basically saw curly hair.
Yes.
Did you see a mustache at that time?
No.
Did you see any sort of facial hair, a goatee of any sort at that time?
No.
Would you be able to give any indication of the type of clothing the person you saw in the bushes was wearing?
No.
Okay, you have a seat. Take that down. Just so that I can confirm a couple of facts, you were moving, you didn't come to a complete stop,
I was moving, yes,
and the foliage in that area is fairly heavy.
yes,
You were a little bit afraid, I think you testified, or concerned, I guess, after you saw what you saw.
yes,
You didn't hear any voices?
no,
No one came out to approach you or attack you or anything like that?
no,
You continued on your ride without any other issues occurring?
yes. I continued.
Again?
Yes, I did continue my bike ride.
The individual that you saw on the motorcycle the first time, do you know whether or not that person was wearing a backpack?
No,
Do you know whether or not the young lady was wearing a backpack?
no,
From where you are on the trail to where you saw this individual, we're going to do this demonstration again. I want you to sort of stop me as to what you think the appropriate distance is. Instead of you telling me a number, just simply stop me.
okay. Stop.
Okay. So approximately this distance, which would be in the general area of 15 or 20 feet.
I would agree with that.
As this case has gone on, you of course have gone on to see April Millsap's picture in the media,
Yes,
and from that picture, you still would indicate to the jury that you would not be able to identify the young girl with the dog.
no,
You also see Mr. James VanCallis here in court today, and you've seen his picture on the television and on the internet, that sort of stuff.
yes, I have.
Would you be able to say whether or not Mr. VanCallis is the person that you saw in the field that day?
No,
Is there a reason that you can't?
no reason, just, I can't. With only seeing the eyes, you know, I only seen the eyes and the top of his hair, so,
So you're being very careful, and at this point, you're not going to say yes or no. You can't make an identification. You have drawn the composite.
right, yes.
Thank you, Amy. I have no further questions. Mr. Chief will have some questions.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Ms. Spinella.
Afternoon.
This is the first time you and I have ever talked, isn't that correct?
Yes.
I don't think we've ever even seen each other in passing anywhere, correct?
No.
Just please keep your voice up. Just a few brief questions, okay?
Okay.
When you saw this individual and you recited your recollection to the sketch artist. But how long were you with the sketch artist, if you remember?
An hour.
And did this lady, Trooper, did she go over the sketch with you?
Yes.
She asked you if there's any features you wanted to change or not change?
Oh, definitely.
She asked you if you wanted to change anything on the eyes, the hair, the ear, the nose, anything like that?
Yes.
And was your mother present at that time too?
No.
And do you remember giving a description also at the same time to assist with the sketch?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember, if this is correct, do you remember indicating it looked to you like a 14 to 16-year-old kid?
Yes, I do remember doing that.
White male, hair really curly on top, like a perm, wavy curly, sandy blonde?
Yes.
Do you remember indicating, seemed to you to weigh about 135 pounds?
No.
You don't remember saying that?
No.
How much do you recall, as we speak today, the person weighing approximately?
I have no idea.
Okay. Do you remember specifying that you thought that the eyes were not blue?
I never specified.
Did the sketch artist ask you what color the eyes were?
Of course.
Okay. Do you remember what you said in response to that question?
I just remember them being bulging out and just bulging, like something was wrong.
And did you indicate if they were darker eyes or lighter color eyes, or no?
No, I didn't indicate.
Did the trooper ask you to elaborate on the eyes?
Yes.
Did the trooper ask you to elaborate on, I think we already covered this, but facial hair, as far as mustache, goatee, beard, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And after you spent about an hour with the sketch artist and making the composite, did she present it to you before saying, okay, this is it?
Yes.
Do you remember how long you took to look at it before you said, yes, this is it? Subsequent to that, you have seen multiple pictures and images of Mr. James VanCallis, is that correct?
Yes.
And you're still telling this, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, that that is not the individual you saw on the trail, correct?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a good afternoon.
Can you say James VanCallis is not the man that you saw?
No.
Thank you. No further questions.
Anything else?
No, thank you for the opportunity, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Next witness.
That would be Gail Snell, Your Honor.
Ma'am, do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes.
And what's your first name?
Gail. G-A-I-L.
S-P-I-N-E-L-L-A?
Yes.
Have a seat, speak loud, thank you.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Would it be okay if I called you Gail?
Yes.
All right, Gail, I'm sure this is a slightly surreal experience now. We are in a courtroom, and the microphone that is that long microphone directly in front of you does amplify. So
Okay.
while you are seated, I would ask you to speak loudly and clearly, and if necessary, use the microphone to amplify your voice. There will be times when I ask you to come down and speak in front of the monitor. Once again, these miscellaneous microphones attempt to do the best they can to pick up the volume, so you need to keep your voice up as loud as possible, all right?
Okay.
Thank you. What city do you live in?
Armada.
How long have you lived in Armada?
33 years plus.
In July of 2014, were you employed?
Yes.
How were you employed?
I am employed through the county.
On July 24th of 2014, were you so employed?
On July, excuse me?
July 14th of 2000, sorry, long day. July 24th of 2014, were you employed by the county?
Yes.
Did you go to work that day?
Yes, I did.
What's your normal working hours?
I roughly work a 9:30 to 4:30.
At the time in Armada, were you living by yourself in July of 2014?
Yes.
Did there come a point in time where Amy came to live with you? Or stay with you, I guess?
She stays with me occasionally. She works in the area, so.
Was she staying with you during that time period of July 24th of 2014?
Yes.
Do you know what I say when I say the Macomb Orchard Trail?
Yes.
Okay. And having been in Armada for 33 years, were you aware when that trail, I guess, was a railroad?
Yes, sir.
And were you aware when that trail was just simply a trail but hadn't been paved?
Yes.
And you, of course, then are aware of the trail as it's paved.
Yes.
Did you use that trail, I guess, often?
Yes.
And did you use that trail, I guess, in the summer of 2014?
Yes.
Let's take you directly to July 24th of 2014. Did you and your daughter go riding on the trail?
Yes, we did.
Okay. If we could put up 33, I'm going to ask you to step down. I'm going to ask you to stand right here. Again, keep your voice loud. Did I steal the... Oh, there it is. Just take a look at it for a second. Familiarize yourself with it. Does it look familiar to you?
Yes, it does.
Keep your voice up. I do apologize. I'm just having it look that way for just a second. Now I'm going to face you this way.
Okay.
All right, so you can talk to the jury and hold the pointer. I'm going to stand off to the side so that Mr. Sheik can see what we're talking about. On this map here, if you're coming over there, Mr. Sheik, then please stand in the corner.
I will, sir. Thank you.
All right? And I'll move around. Would you point out where your house is?
My home is up in this area here.
Okay, keep your voice up.
Yes, it's up in this area here.
And where would you show us where the trail is, just so you have an idea, you know where the trail is?
The trail is right here.
All right, what path did you, approximately what time did you said you got home normally about 4:30? Did you get home about 4:30 on that day?
I had worked a little longer that day. I got home, probably about 5:45 but between 5:30 and 6, came home.
Did you get on the trail? Did you and your daughter go for a ride?
Yes, we did.
We've seen the bikes, so you and your daughter, I understand, went somewhere first before the trail. Where did you go?
We went to the Marathon gas station.
Which is where?
Okay, right here.
All right.
Let's see.
Is it up on Main Street?
Oh, Main Street. Where's Main Street?
Main is,
Yeah, way up here. Okay,
Okay.
I'm sorry. Figure it out.
I don't live there, but
Right here.
I've gotten to know Armada real well. So the gas station is up at the top.
It's right here. I'm sorry.
We're glad that your daughter testified first. What path did you take down to the trail?
Okay, we came right up Main, and we stopped at the gas station, and then we headed down Church to Depot Street, and there's like a little gravel parking lot, and that's where we got into the trail.
As you're on the trail, if you would, who's in front and who's in back? On the trail as you run.
I was in the front.
About how far in front of your daughter were you?
Probably 3 bicycle lengths or more, give or take.
Would you describe the pace that you're riding at?
At first I was going a little faster, and then we slowed down a little bit. I often do that. Not just casual.
Casual?
Yeah, it's, not a fast bike, so.
Did there come a point in time where you came across a young girl and her dog?
Yes.
Would you point out on the path there where that would have been?
Up in this area.
Okay, keep your voice up.
Up in this area right in here.
So just for the record, we've jumped ahead a little bit. You're headed east on the Orchard Lake Trail toward Omo Road,
Correct. Yes.
and you're giving a direction that's a little bit east of what we call, what Liberty Road is and the Liberty Path?
Liberty Road, yes. I'm
Okay.
familiar with that.
Right. And you've been in the area a long time. You know what that little Liberty Trail is off
Yes.
that subdivision onto the path?
Yes.
Okay, and my guess is your years there, then you know about this little lake here and the farm area and all that sort of stuff.
Yes, this is the gravel pits, which it was at one time, which now there's homes there. And this was just a small lane. Well, actually, there wasn't houses back there. Then they built homes back there. And it used to be a retention pond. And then that's how it got the Liberty Lane is what they put in later. So, yeah, that's what's there. And it was just like in this area, in here.
All right, so you're what we would call east of Liberty Lane.
Yes, I was walking, we were riding east.
If I were to show you a picture of the young lady, would you recognize her?
Yes.
All right, if you would put up exhibit number 1, please.
Yes.
All right, that's exhibit number 1. Is that the young lady that you saw on the path that day?
Yes, it did.
And is that the young lady you've come to know as April Millsap?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to also then show you people's exhibit number 4, which is a photograph of a dog, and ask if you recognize that.
Yes.
Okay. And is that then the dog that you saw that day also?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I'm going to have you have a seat again, if you would. There's some Kleenex in the little package right there. If you need a break, or if you need some water, let us know. We will attend to whatever is necessary.
Okay, I'm fine.
Would you describe what you saw to the jury when you first came upon the young lady?
Ride my bicycle. She was walking west, on the west on the south side of the trail heading west. I was heading east.
So she was coming toward you?
She was coming towards me, yes.
And the dog, was the dog on a leash?
Yes, on a leash.
We know that the path is approximately 10 feet wide or so. Where were you on that path?
10 feet, I was heading east, and I was on the north side of the trail, and she was heading west, and she was on the south side of the trail, and then she crossed over.
All right, so more or less, if we were pretending that that was a traffic lane, you were driving European style on the wrong side, and she was on the right-hand side walking toward you.
Right.
How close did you get to her before she crossed, I guess, to the north side of the trail?
I saw her coming in the distance, and she was looking down at her phone, or whatever she was looking at. She was looking down. And I guess I assumed it was a phone, but she was looking down. And she was walking her dog, and my first thought was, is the dog friendly? And then it was just maybe a minute, not much longer, and she crossed over to the north side. So she was on the same side of the trail as I was, and I was heading east.
And what did you do when she crossed over?
Well, I looked at her and I said hello, and I said, nice dog, and she smiled and replied, said yes. Thank you very much.
Okay. Did it appear to you that she was under pressure when you saw her?
I didn't notice that.
Okay.
No.
Did she ask for help in any way?
No.
Did she make any effort to stop you or to do anything more than just simply respond to your hello?
No. She just responded to my hello.
The dog, did the dog make any effort to, I guess, get away from her, chase your bike or chase your tires or anything like that?
No, not at all. Very friendly dog.
How often did you ride that trail in the last 5 or 6 years, I guess?
Oh gosh, often.
Did you ever recall seeing a motorcycle on that trail before that day?
Never.
Can you describe for me how April was dressed?
It was a very warm summer day. She had I believe, I remember, a light colored t-shirt on. You know, like a normal young girl.
Did you see a motorcycle on the trail that day?
Yes, I did.
And approximately, I'm going to have to, if you would put 33 back up, it'll be just very quick. Come on down.
Okay.
Just like to have the jury, just point, use the pointer, and point to the jury where it was you saw the motorcycle as you were heading east.
As I was heading east. Okay. It was right about in,
Okay, can you see that is there?
Yes, thank you.
right about in this approximate area
Okay.
here. It's just past the clearing of the woods here. And so it used to be clearer there, and you could see this, but it's got more brush there. So it was more brush than trees. It was right in this area, right here.
So what you're saying is this part of the trail is brushed with clearing behind it, and then we've heard the term tunnel of trees once you get
Yes,
past that area?
Exactly.
Do you know where the electric lines cross the trail?
Approximately here.
Okay, so is that in the general area then where you saw the bike the first time?
Yes.
All right, if you could have a seat, take it down. Thank you, Craig. Would you describe for the jury how it was that you first saw the motorcycle?
Well, we were just riding our bicycles, and I was still on the north side of the trail, and the motorcycle was just sitting there, and I got over to the south side to get out of the way because it was just sitting there, not moving at all.
Now, would you describe what the person on the motorcycle was, how they were dressed?
Yes, that alerted me. I thought it was odd.
Okay. You're saying is the dress odd or seeing a motorcycle on the trail odd?
Both.
Had you ever seen a motorcycle before? I don't know if I asked that. I
Yes.
apologize if I did ask that question before. Had you ever seen one before?
No, I've never seen a motorcycle on the trail.
Okay. And now, as you're headed east, is the motorcycle on the right or the left?
It is on the left, on the north side.
What direction does the bike itself face?
At that time,
Correct.
okay, it was facing west.
Which means it was facing...
Oh, I'm sorry, it was facing, yes, it was facing west,
So
towards North Avenue.
All right, so it was facing you as you were coming toward
Right.
it.
I was riding my bicycle, and it was like the front end of it was looking at me, yes.
Okay. You're going like this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like this?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
getting you confused.
How far away from it, if this is approximately, just using this as a base, from here to the back wall is about 45 feet, using that as a base, was it shorter or longer than that when you first saw the bike, the motorcycle?
It was probably at least that far away, all the way to the back wall, that I saw it in the distance.
Does the bike make any movement or maneuvers at that time?
No, not that I saw.
Now, you've indicated that it was odd. One of the reasons was a motorcycle on the trail. What's the other reason?
The dress. the
How
clothing.
is the individual dressed?
They have a helmet on with a full face shield, the helmet with the shield on it. It appeared to be a black jacket. Couldn't tell if it was leather. It was a heavy jacket. I remember gloves. Definitely not dressed for a warm July day at all.
And that's what sticks out in your mind?
Yes.
Do normally people on the trail dress in a certain way when they're walking or exercising?
Well, yes, you dress appropriate for the weather.
Was this person on the motorcycle, in your opinion, dressed appropriate for the weather?
Not at all.
How does that make you feel now when you see that, you see the dress, you see the motorcycle, and you're approaching? How are you feeling?
Well, I was alerted because, number one, I right away knew there shouldn't be a motorcycle on the trail. And I also thought it odd that someone was completely covered. And why is this person on the trail completely covered? You couldn't see their face at all.
What happens as you approach? Let me put it this way, does the bike move at all?
No.
As you're there?
No, it's just sitting there. He's just sitting on it, just sitting there.
Now, how far... So let me stay with the clothing description. Can you give me a color of the pants?
I believe them to be a dark color.
Do you know the type of shoes?
They were high tops.
And if they were white, black, red, yellow, blue, orange?
I can't say for certain. I was staring at the helmet as I'm driving by, intensely looking to see if I could see anything. I couldn't see.
But you did see high-top shoes?
I saw the high-top shoes, yes. I did. It's kind of in slow motion memory for me because I was really paying attention because I was alerted because it was odd.
Do you make any motions or any laudatory movements at the person as you drive past?
No. Nope, I turned to look back as I'm going because I didn't have any mirrors on my bike.
What did you see when you turned around to look back?
He was just still sitting there motionless. I saw appeared to be a blue plate, possibly. I was trying to look at the license plate, but
Okay.
I can't remember.
How far behind you is your daughter?
Well, I don't have mirrors, so I don't know.
Okay.
She was a little bit further behind me.
How far was the young lady that you saw, April, from the person on the trail on that motorcycle that you've just described? If we're using this as 45 feet or so,
Yeah. She would have been, I would have encountered her previous to
Right.
that. And I don't know how fast she was walking, but she would have been quite a ways further down the trail, heading towards the granary. Yes.
so they're not close at all from what you're seeing?
He would have, or he or she or whoever it was.
Okay, let's just get distance. Did you see the two of them interact?
No.
And there was a significant distance between where you saw the bike and where you saw April walk?
There was a significant distance, yes.
What happens after you pass the motor, let me put it this way, do you see that motorcycle again as you're heading east after you pass the motorcycle?
Do I see it again?
Correct.
At that point, as I'm heading east?
As you're heading east towards Omo?
As I'm heading east towards Omo, no, at that point, no.
Do you ever see the motorcycle in operation?
I did not.
How far down the path do you go as you're riding?
I headed towards Omo Road, crossed the road, went just a little ways down the road, and my legs started to ache, so I stopped and asked my daughter if she'd like to turn around. I was ready to go, and so we turned around.
Now you turn around and you're heading back on the trail. Approximately what time are you heading back? Do you know? Did you have an app tracker yourself or a sport app?
No, not at all.
Did you have your phone with you?
No,
Were you wearing a watch?
no.
Do you have any, I guess, approximate time when it was that you encountered the young lady or the gentleman on the motorcycle?
Yes. I left my home shortly after 6, and then I had to stop and get air in my tires. So I didn't get on the trail. Probably, it was 6:15 or later before I even got on the trail, right around in that time.
The motorcycle that you saw, do you have any familiarities with motorcycles?
Yeah, somewhat. I have family and friends that own motorcycles.
Do you know the difference between what we would call a street bike and a dirt bike?
Yes.
The type of bike that you saw on the trail, can you give a description of it to the jury?
Yes, it was a standard bike, but it looked more like a dirt bike to me, that type of a bike, not...
When you sometimes I would say a dirt bike might be a conclusion. Could you give some of the physical description which would have you come to that conclusion of it being a dirt bike?
The tires, the way the rim is set up above the tires a little bit. It was black. I remember seeing black and chrome.
But you would say it was an off-road bike of some type?
I think it would be a bike that you would be more off-road, but you could probably ride it either or.
It wasn't a Harley?
No, definitely not a Harley.
Was it a crotch rocket?
No.
You know what a crotch rocket is? in terms of
Yeah, don't you have to
motorcycles?
lean forward and,
Yeah.
no.
Did you see that bike on the way back?
Yes.
Did you see the person on that bike on the way back?
No.
You've indicated there where you saw the bike as you were headed east. If I could ask you to come back down, if you would put 33 up again. On the way back, you indicate that you saw the bike. Where on this map do you see that bike?
On the way back.
On the way back.
It's in this area somewhere.
Keep your voice up.
It's in this area, parked on the south side of the trail.
Okay, so you can have a seat. When you indicate the south side of the trail then, we know that there's a shoulder at that point on the trail, and we know that there is a paved trail. Would you describe to the jury exactly on the south side where it was parked and what direction it was facing?
It was parked on the shoulder on the south side, and what else? I'm sorry, could you repeat
What
that again?
direction was it facing this time?
It was facing west.
So it was facing toward the granary?
Yes,
It was facing in the direction that you were headed.
yes.
Did you see anybody around the bike?
No, and I was looking.
Did you see a helmet on the bike?
I did not see a helmet.
When you ride past the bike this time and the bike is there by itself, do you say anything to Amy?
When I tried to say something to Amy, I was riding my bike, and I turned and I don't know if she heard me, but I'm like, where's the guy on the bike? Do you see the guy on the bike?
Do you
And
hear?
I'm looking because I'm wondering, where did this person go?
Are you wondering just out of curiosity? Are you wondering out of fear? How are you wondering?
I'm just wondering what they're up to. You know, what are they doing on the trail number 1? And they just saw them, and then all of a sudden, there's the bike and there's no person.
Approximately
Yeah, curiosity.
approximately how long was it between the time that you passed the bike the first time on the trail and then passed the bike headed west on the way back home?
It'd be a guess, maybe 8 to 10 minutes, maybe where we went across and turned around,
So you
maybe a
didn't-
little more.
You
But
didn't
maybe
go
8 minutes.
You didn't go down to Pit Road?
No.
You didn't go
no.
down to the gazebo in Richmond?
Absolutely not, no. That's quite a ways.
So just past Omo is a bridge. You indicate you turned around at the bridge and headed back.
Just a little bit beyond that, yes.
Now, as you're heading west, the bike is on your left-hand side.
Yes.
You indicate that you're looking around. Would you tell the jury, I guess, where you're looking around? What is it that you're looking at?
Okay, when Amy kind of caught up with me a little bit, or so I thought she could hear me. I'm not sure if she heard me, but I'm like, I'm going to look to the south, you look to the north. That's what I had stated. I didn't see anything. I had slowed down and I was really looking, and I didn't see anything on the south side.
And that's what you were looking at, south side?
Yes.
You never looked then to the right side?
I occasionally glimpsed that way, but I was focusing more on the south side.
And other than seeing the bike on the way back, you did not see any other activity on the way back?
The man in the yellow shirt,
Okay. You saw a man in the yellow shirt. Where would that have been?
he had went by, again, real quickly,
Had you seen him going the opposite direction the first time?
yes. He had passed me both ways,
Okay.
going in opposite directions, yes.
In this time period, I guess, just right around where you're heading west and you see the bike, do you see anybody else?
I saw a couple with a child on bicycles.
Did you see the dog again?
Did I see the dog on the
The
way
dog,
home,
yeah,
on
the
the way
dog.
back heading west?
Okay, you didn't?
No, I
Okay.
did not.
And you didn't see the young lady either that you had seen headed that direction?
No, I did not.
At some point in time, did you become aware that Amy had seen something?
Yes.
About where was that on the path? How far past the bike was that you became aware she'd seen something?
Well, we were getting towards a little bit past the wooded area, and we were in the wooded area, but I waited for her to catch up with me because I was ahead of her. So I stopped. And I said, well,
And what did she say?
and she wanted to keep going.
Did you say to her that you wanted to go back and look?
Yes, I did.
Did you go back and look?
No, I did not. She said to me to keep going.
And you kept going?
Yeah, she did say that she saw something and that I should go.
Did you call the police that evening?
No.
How did you learn about the murder on Orchard Lake Trail? I mean, Macomb Orchard Trail.
Well, I went to work the next day, and when I came home, there was police everywhere in town. And I went home, and my daughter happened to be there, and I said, what's going on? And she said, you know that girl that you saw yesterday? I said, yeah. She said she was murdered.
Did you speak to the police that day, that Friday then?
Yes, I did. I went up immediately.
You went to the, did you go to the trail or directly to the police department?
Directly to the police department.
Did you make a statement at that time, or did they come back to interview you at a later time?
I talked to an officer, and then he said someone's going to want to hear what she has to say. And then they said they would be sending someone over to my home to speak to me because there was media everywhere. And I was trying to avoid the media.
Did they come speak to you then at some point at your home?
Yes, they did.
Would it be safe to say you would be unable to identify the person that you saw on the motorcycle that day?
Yeah, say that again, please.
Would it be safe to say that you would be unable to identify the person you saw on that motorcycle that day?
That would be safe to say.
Thank you, Gail. Mr. Sheik, I have some questions.
Okay.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Just going to ask you a few brief questions just to make sure that I've got some things right, okay?
Okay.
You were not in a position to identify the person you saw on the trail, correct?
No.
Okay. And as far as the motorcycle, I believe you said you thought that the color of it was black?
That's what I remember, yes.
Okay. And the license plate you looked at and you thought that it was blue?
I just thought I saw some blue when I looked back.
Okay.
Yes.
And if you remember, was it blue and white, the plate?
I don't remember specifically, no.
Okay. Are you even sure that that rider that you on that bike was a male or female, or you wouldn't even venture to guess as to the gender?
I would not be able to. There was a full face shield, but I did see a leg.
You did see a leg?
A leg was exposed, so I knew that it was a white person.
Okay.
And leg, yeah.
So just one leg was exposed?
Yeah, because it was the only side I saw, because his feet were flat on the ground, so I only saw that one side as I rode by.
So how was the leg exposed? Was the person wearing shorts?
I have no idea. I just know that part of the leg was showing.
Do you remember if it was the person's left or right leg, if you remember?
Well, I was on the south side of the trail,
Okay.
and they were sitting on the bike facing west, so it would be the leg that was exposed on that side.
Okay. Now, you said you saw a gentleman in a yellow shirt passing both ways, correct?
Correct.
And you also indicated you thought you saw a couple, and the couple had a child with them, or no child?
There was a child with them.
Was a child on one of their bikes, if you remember?
I believe they were on bikes, yes. It was when I was almost home, yeah.
Thank you for your time, Mrs. Spinelli.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. You were excused.
I would indicate, Your Honor, it's on the people. This time I'd schedule witnesses up to about 5 o'clock, and she was the last witness that I had. I don't have another witness if the court wishes to start another.
See you tomorrow at 11, folks. Please don't read, listen to, watch, and know the rules.
All right for the jury.
Have a safe night.
Okay.